What is up, everybody? What's up? What's up? What's up? Phil Plays Bass. I'm back after a full week, my technically penultimate week of teaching, but I've got about a month free now. A little bit more than a month. The end of the year concert for my students is happening exactly in 1 month, and school's out for a couple of weeks. I've got one last day of teaching tomorrow, but I usually don't stream on Saturdays. But starting next week, I'll be super available, which means there's going to be lots of bass practicing and piano practicing. And who knows, maybe at some point I'll be doing half an hour, who knows, half an hour bass, half an hour piano, or an hour of piano and an hour of bass, God knows. For the time being, I'm just going to go back to my little practice routine that I'm still kind of a little bit fuzzy about. Akil was here earlier. I'm not entirely sure he's back. Akil, if you're back, say hi. If anybody else is watching, welcome back. What do I do here? Essentially, I talk. Sometimes I talk more than I play bass, but the aim of this YouTube channel is for me to practice cool things that I see, essentially transcribing, which is one of my favorite hobbies, alongside playing piano now, I suppose, gardening, baking bread, a bunch of things I like to do, reading, exercising. But essentially, this particular segment of my day is dedicated to bass playing. If you see a little bit of a couple of little scratches on my arms, one of them is I caught my arm in the doorknob just as I was setting up for the stream. Other little nicks over there that you probably can't really see on camera. Yeah, just helping somebody with some construction work in their basement. just carrying just old pieces of broken plaster, and yeah, just scratched myself a little bit. Nothing to be alarmed about. There we go. All right, so I'm going to start with my usual warm-up, which I still very much enjoy, which is to play some Hadrian Fraud. It's basically a video that's available on YouTube where he shows a couple of exercises that he recommends for speed and string skipping, and I'm sort of just going through them one by one and finding interesting new ways to challenge myself, because after a while you do get comfortable with some of these patterns, and it's nice to just shake everything up. Shake things up, or shake everything up, in order to produce a different kind of challenge for yourself. The first exercise is basically just a chromatic scale played over 4 strings. Essentially starting in, we're in the chromatic scale. Doesn't really matter where you want to start it, wherever you're comfortable on the neck, as long as you've got enough room to get all the frets. There's a bit of the interesting part of this is, you know what, I'll just play it and you'll see what I mean. You can do it over 5 strings or 4 strings. It doesn't really matter. I've got the 5 string here, but I'm just going to do it over 4. It's an excellent exercise for string skipping, and I love the fact that there is this little chromatic step, this half step spreads over 2 strings. It's a very useful thing to get comfortable with, and obviously quite a wide spread of the fingers over the fretboard, which is a really great exercise for strengthening the whole left hand structure, not to mention everything that the right hand is doing, which is pretty difficult. So this is not an entry-level exercise. If you happen to be a beginner bass player, do let me know in the chat, and I've got a heap of exercises that will eventually lead you to being able to play that sort of stuff. Nate is in the chat. Lovely to see you, dudes. Okay, it's Friday again. They seem to be hitting too quickly. That is true. That is true. Steve Miller was right. Time keeps on slipping into the future. I'm not familiar with Steve Miller. Steve Miller. Must be an American thing. Fly like it. Oh. No, that's just me. That's just me being Belgian. My bad. How you doing, dude? Good to see you. Thanks for turning up, man. Right, a little bit of a drum beat. Oh. Come on. The Steve Miller Band. Steve Miller Band? That sounded like Ed Miliband. Steve Miller. Steve Miller Band. Gotta say it with an American accent, otherwise it sounds like a British politician. Yeah. Nice one, dude. I'm gonna have to check that one out. I'll add it to the stream playlist of all the things that you guys suggest I should listen to. It's just sometimes embarrassing how little, how wide certain gaps are in your music knowledge. Especially when you claim that it's, your profession. Fly Like an Eagle. All right. I'll add it to... There we go. I do probably know it, but I've never had an opportunity to play it. You have to be in a... I mean, if you're on the continent or in the UK, you'd have to be in some sort of... What would you say? What would you call it? Like a country band or some sort of Americana band to sort of beef up your American famous tunes repertoire. And I wasn't really wanted to, though. Really wanted to, but hey. Where's the track on? Oh, here we go. Cool. Version number 2 of this exercise, which I'm a big fan of as well, is in triplets. Isn't that exactly what I was doing before? Hang on. That's what I was supposed to do before. No. Trying to come up with different little patterns. Well, I'm gonna have to come back to that one. Doesn't feel like I've got my head screwed on properly today. Actually, this one isn't too bad. How could I segment it? You couldn't. Yo, Jen, what's up? Lovely to see you. Jen from Savage Friday in the house, at least for a little while. Let's enjoy Jen's presence while we have her. How are you doing, Jen? Thank you for tuning in. We are indeed 5-stringing. I'm going to an open mic tonight, and some friends I'm tagging along, essentially. Some friends have told me, Phil, we're going to play a bunch of songs. Come down. What are you going to play? Sign Still Delivered. Gravity by John Mayer. Under the Bridge. I was like, okay, fine, yeah, sounds good. Sounds good. Three excellent tunes. So I'm, yeah. Singer, guitar player, drummer, keyboard player, full band. She's going to turn up and take over the open mic. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. Good to hear, Jen. Good to hear you're doing good. What's next for me? It's probably all right for a warm up, right? Surely. You love the ending bass part of Under the Bridge. Hang on. What's the ending bass part of Under the Bridge? What are you? What do you? Oh. Which is not that exactly. I know it because I did have to transcribe it recently. It's not what I remember it as. It's not that. I know. Sorry. Why did I play it again? I shouldn't cement it in my mind as if it was. Hang on. Because I do probably need to check that out. Under the Bridge. I'm going to play along with it, but unfortunately, with the volume off. It is that part, but it's not. I'm not playing it correctly. Apologies to all the Flea fans. Song is playing now. Hopefully you guys can't hear it. Sorry about that. Bass is about to come in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, chorus. Is that? Here we go. Okay, so okay, controversial opinion about Flea. Here we go. Very controversial. I don't think he's a very good example of a bass player, right? Okay, but bear with me. For specific reasons. I love Flea. I learned bass essentially just punctuated with some of it, a lot of his bass lines throughout the years, especially when I was starting off and starting to get comfortable on the instrument. Before I got into jazz and Jacko and all of that, Flea was one of them, up there, 100%. Hot take. But his right hand technique and left hand technique, for that matter, is terrible to teach. I would never use his positioning, right hand or left hand, as an example of good hand positioning for a student. That is essentially the extent of my hot take. Is he's not a very good example of how to hold the bass, how to play it, how to sort of move across the strings, move across the fretboard. There's a lot of this around, you know. Obviously, half of his appeal on stage is visual Flea. You can't play bass and do what Flea does. You can't play in the Red Hot Chili Peppers and do what Flea does with this kind of, you know, kind of elegant technique. You have to be holding the bass because you're jumping around. Understandable. If you're going to be headbanging and moving around the stage, you're most likely having to stabilize the body of the bass against yourself in a way that doesn't allow you to have a kind of a good slapping position. You're going to have to be sort of slapping that way, I suppose, if you're going to sort of yank the body of the bass, not yank, but push the body of the bass against your thigh or against your body, that sort of stuff. I'd never use him as a good example. Students constantly come up to me and they're like, yeah, Phil, you're constantly talking about like string skipping and following it with your thumb. But Flea doesn't do it, and they've got all of these examples of bass players, usually Flea first, of, yeah, but why should I learn it that way? Because Flea doesn't do it that way. That matter, Jacko did it half the time, you know, following the strings with his thumb. But I'm like, yeah, but it's, do whatever you want, but first master this technique, and then afterwards, once you become very good at string skipping, then you can just anchor your thumb wherever you like. At least that's my kind of approach. Tell me what you think. Am I in the wrong? This is probably the right place to ask. Not how I played, but sounds decent. Yeah, sorry, I did read that. Actually agree with you 100%, Phil, and he's still a huge influence on me in all the ways, but you're right. I think that's a lot of teachers are a little bit frustrated with this idea that, oh, just because somebody's a highly regarded creative writer or instrumentalist doesn't mean that we should be absorbing all of his technique. A great example of that is on the piano would be a guy like Barry Harris, especially for jazz technique, jazz approach to that. He was not as famous a piano player as, I don't know, Brad Mehldau, Keith Jarrett, Bud Powell, Errol Garner, like you name it, like any piano player. But fantastic educator, fantastic explainer of concepts, and that's it. That's, always use that metaphor. The guy who trained Rocky would not have survived 10 seconds in the ring, right? Paulie, Rocky's trainer. I know it's fictional, but it didn't shock anybody. It doesn't shock anybody that Mr. Miyagi is this old kind of decrepit, not decrepit. This old decrepit man, even though he's still got a lot of stamina. But that's kind of taken. You don't have to be able to perform as well as your athlete, as long as you can explain and observe your athlete to a point where you can give him pointers that will improve him. I'm not comparing myself either to Paulie or Mr. Miyagi or Barry Harris, but don't follow the idols. Just try and learn the what I consider to be the proper way. You don't have another choice. You're stuck in a classroom with me. That's how you're going to learn it. Maybe I shouldn't. Yeah, probably shouldn't be using that particular line, but I don't know. what would be your comeback to this kind of stuff? You know, students that, like headstrong students, that kind of just constantly go back over the same thing, which is like, oh, Phil, why are you bothering me with this? There's no point. I don't want to play that sort of stuff. I want to play like Flea. I hear you. Anyway, here's some Stevie Wonder. Yeah, just... I mean, find me a bass player that has perfect technique. Apart from Brian Bromberg, for instance. Like, anyone I can think of has some technical quirks. You know, I adore, I revere Mike League, not revere. You know what I mean? He was a huge influence on me. I don't always like some of his left-hand positioning. I just find it a bit awkward and kind of just strange. But that's just his morphology. You can accept that some people have just different ways. When you get to a certain level, everybody's going to sort of branch out when you get to that level. But before that, learn the bloody way, dude. Just paint the fence. You know, punch the carcasses. I'm sticking with my Karate Kid Rocky metaphors there. References. Punch the carcasses until I tell you to stop. That sounds pretty grim when you say it like that. But right. Stella by Starlight. I'm not really doing enough playing when I get into my hot takes. At least I don't have hot snakes. Hot snakes and bubble gut, right? Where were we? Stella. I'm going to give myself a little grace and play it along the actual guitar solo. And I'm going to switch cameras. There we go. I tabbed out how I play the intro and the outro in Discord. Nate, you're so fast, dude. You're so unbelievably quick. Did you just do that right now? Are you just providing me with tabs for tonight's little open mic performance? Is that what you just did? Started the solo. Let's go. Let's see how I fare. I said I was going to switch cameras. There we go. All right. We're off. Five string is confusing me completely. All right, not giving up, but I am going to switch basses. It's a bit embarrassing that I struggle to play it on. Little cuenca over here in the background. Pick up the classical guitar a little bit and get my rest stroke back on. Okay, let's try that again. Move the microphone away a little bit. Actually, you know what? I'm going to mute it whilst I play it. Microphone's muted. Microphone's not muted anymore. I realized that you guys couldn't hear anything. Which means I'm going to have to do it again. Alright. Okay. Apologies. Howdy ho, Michael. Hello. Good to see you, man. You won't be surprised by what I'm doing right now. The bass is clipping, Mike, you're saying. Yep. Thank you very much. Yeah, I'm not going to play it that hard, though. So this should be enough. Okay, one more time. Microphone muted. See you guys on the other side. One more time. So there's no point in me making the same mistake several times. I've got to... I'm going to play it with the backing track. That way it should prevent me from making the exact same mistake. And if it doesn't, I'm in deep doo-doo. Just came across a square jazz bass in a solid squard. Solid squard? Or epoxy and listed as table. A solid square? Listed it as tabletop. Are you posting all of that in the Discord, Nate? Alright, one more time.
One, two, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, I don't feel very agile today, or very unfocused. Not sure.
1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. One, two, 1, 2, 3, 4.
forgot to unmute the microphone. There we go. Sorry, guys. Forgot to unmute the microphone. I was talking about the fact that I wasn't super happy with what I was coming up with. It just sounded like a bunch of incoherent ideas. It wasn't really a solo as much as a collection of licks I know. And then I told a terrible joke that I'm not going to repeat because it was not even offensive, just horrific levels of dad's joke. So there's no way I'm saying it again. All right, this is a little bit more up my street because it's less jazz. You guys know I love jazz, but to somebody who doesn't know jazz, it'll sound like kind of jazz. But anybody who genuinely likes jazz will listen to me playing jazz and they'll be like, yeah, this guy knows kind of how to pretend he knows what he's doing. But they're just licks, man. And it's not ideal. Alright, you guys might remember what I was transcribing last week. Lire Oserie. Insane bass player. And crazy interesting ideas. This one's a shuffle. I agree, Mike. It is a beautiful bass. It is. I'm kind of a vanilla guy. I don't need really fancy. How did he say it again? Poplar top. How am I gonna find it? Bass the Well. Ibanez, the new Ibanez. Sorry, it's about a couple of months old now, I think. This is the one.
6-string model, same as the more affordable stained amber burst. This one, the MDM 1605, was a slightly more expensive and fancier version with a poplar pearl top.
I don't know what he said, but I don't need it.
The MDM 1605 was a slightly more expensive and fancier version with a poplar pearl top.
Poplar pearl top. Is it poplar bell top? Poplar bell top, I think. Anyway, beautiful bass. I don't need it.
The MDM 1605 was a slightly more expensive and fancier version with a poplar pearl top.
It can't be just me. I'm sorry, guys. I don't mean to make fun of people, right? But this had me in tears.
It was a slightly more expensive and fancier version with a poplar pearl top.
Poplar. There's one too many words in there, surely. Still, it's a beautiful bass, dude, for sure. And we all know how important tone wood is, right? A standard USA made Fender Jazz has dots, costs extra money to get block inlays. But what about deluxe models, Mike? Because this is a Jazz Bass Deluxe. I mean, it was £1,500, which would be what, $1,800, close to $2,000 when I bought it in 2015. I thought they all came with block inlays, as far as I remember, but it might be included in the price, which was indeed hefty. Fender has some epic colors releasing. ESP, the Japan colors. That new catalog is just awesome. Yes, but does it have
slightly more expensive and fancier version with a poplar pearl top?
Does it have a poplar? And Mike, to answer to you, to respond to you, yes, I do love watching these guys as well. Crazy, useful, informative videos, and the guys they're all very likable in that channel. And I think this is where we get the Lars Lehmann stuff as well. All those crazy Germans. I'm very grateful for this YouTube channel. It's very useful. It's just sometimes you're just like, Well, same as me. When you're not a native speaker, sometimes you'll say Japan. You say Japan instead of Japan, or Canada rather than Canada. I've been made fun of, all right. I know what it feels like. I do. Gregor Fries. You need to add that face to the emoji list. Can you grab the face that he...
This one, the MDM 1605, was a slightly more expensive and fancier version with a poplar on top.
That one, when he says poplar with his fist. Like the, you know, the meme of the toddler that does this. Kind of reminds me of that, but the base version. The adult base version. Yeah, aluminum and aluminium. That's another one. Very true. Alright, back to our Israeli friend. Oh my god, I haven't touched that line since the last stream. See? Since the last... Happens to the best of us. Alright, so this is the line I'm really, really struggling with. But I do think that if I get that, that is kind of the core, or at least the heart of this particular tune, is like declinations of this particular line. So if I manage to understand what's going on, which I think I do at 90%. Volume would be nice. That is crazy. How does anyone come up with this kind of stuff? I don't know if you guys can hear how much strength I have to put into those breaks. That doesn't feel right to me. Yeah, Mike, usually the raking is kind of, I find it kind of gimmicky. No, I don't like it too much. I much prefer playing ghost notes in place. But this I like. Oh my god, he's gorgeous. Poplar. That's going to be hard to remember. Pop. Sweet. I would have called it in... what was his name again? Gregor? Is it Gregor Fries? Is that the name of our friend over there? Nate, you should be called the meme slinger. Not the gunslinger, but the meme slinger. I think that's a pretty good moniker. Meme slinger. You rename it to the proper name, which is what interested uncle. And I, tell me more. And his bassist is Kai Lemke. Doesn't he have a few? I have a feeling there's a guy that's also sometimes on Brooksy's live chat? Is that possible? That one of the guys appears on Brooksy's live streams every now and then. I feel like he has a few co-conspirators or accomplices. Okay, Phil, stop talking. More playing. Sorry, I went for a run earlier today, and every time I come back from a run, I feel like my windpipe's a little bit chafed. It's probably not good, right? I know he's not actually, well, is he actually playing unbelievably staccato-ified notes? Better than having to put tape over some other parts that might chafe. Very true. Very true. You're right, Nate. Bit of a life lesson there. I should consider myself lucky. Forever grateful. You shame me, Philippe. I exercised every day until COVID lockdown ruined my routine. Oh, Mike, I hope I'm not shaming you. I didn't play that much during the lockdowns either. It was, yeah, what a horrible time, man. Yeah, what a difficult time that was. But what can I say, Mike? I've spent so much time with this instrument, and so regularly. I think the biggest secret was I was kind of a bedroom kid, you know, not super into sports, not super into anything really apart from video games, and my bass guitar was right next to me throughout all of my teenage years, literally living right next to me the whole time. And every second, I had kind of a crappy old PC, right? And every time I'd play video games and something had to load, which, you know, happened fairly often, or something would crash, I would have to reboot or wait for it to load. And every time I had a split second, I would put the bass on my lap and just play a few notes. Combine all of that together, it's a huge amount of time that I spent with the bass on my lap, just practicing technique. And then obviously having to, well, being in London and having that being your profession means all of your time should be dedicated to that. So I had plenty of time to practice. Plenty of time to practice. That's the only difference. I'm not particularly more talented. I'm just very obstinate, very perseverant. And I wouldn't even call it myself obsessed, because if I was, you know, I'd be like Lior. I'd be a different, like an even, like a different caliber of player. You know, the kind of guy you see play and you're like flawed, because he's doing his own thing and he's got not just the technique, but the groove and the sort of identity, the precision, the sort of deliberate aspect to his playing that just feels so out of reach for me as well. At least for the time being. Nate. Yeah, I was into Kung Fu as well. Nintendo Kung Fu. Could be the name of a band that you'd see at Coachella, right? Nintendo Kung Fu, surely? Oh no, trademark. Never mind. Idiot. That doesn't work. New emoji idea. He's gonna grab those little sprites from Nintendo Kung Fu. I have a feeling I'll get it soon enough, but... I like it. Oh, actually, that is something I might want to do as well later on. Have we got that kind of tempo here? Three, four. Let's see. 2, 3, 4. Nearly. A couple of notes. Couple of notes to adjust. You guys might know this tune, right? Is Logic being picked up? I'm gonna have to check that in a second. Yeah, Logic is coming through. Sweet. Ooh, that was unfortunate. Alright, that should be it. repeat, please. Where is my repeat? There we go. Do you guys know this tune? Come on, surely. I'm going to record some bass as well. Input number 2. And have a little jam with myself. Reset channel strip, yes please. None of that ugly bridge stuff. 2, 3, 4. Right, so what I want to do is have that in the background. I don't need this. There we go. There's that line at the end. One line, man. Kind of difficult to put in tempo though, but I'll keep trying. Starts earlier, I think. I've got to check Discord. This is Michael? And who's on the chair? Who's tied on the chair? It can't be Sherry. Can't be Sherry Anthony. Is it Sherry or Cherie? No, it's Sherry, right? You've told me, Mike, but just need to double check. There is a video, and I'm gonna watch it just to make myself feel kind of terrible, of Johan playing Strasbourg. It's got to be somewhere. Yes, that's the one. Okay, I'm gonna feel awful about this because he absolutely destroys this tune. This is a jam that was happening at the Grand Union in near Shepherd's Bush, more like Ravenscourt Park. Yes, in West London. I wasn't at this particular one, but I used to go to this jam often. And I saw this video on YouTube, and I just could not believe it. Like, man, the phrasing on this guy. This must be 15 years old. 13 years ago, right? Listen to. Okay, I don't need you anymore, Logic. You can go. Listen to this guy's phrasing. You don't know how difficult it is to get people to applaud in that place. For a bass solo, that's insane. That's insane. He took it okay. That's a 2-minute bass solo. You're not bored at all. He keeps developing the ideas. He doesn't repeat himself. It's like, what? On a different level, man, this guy is. And through friends of his, I met him a couple of times. Through friends of his, I know that this guy did nothing but play bass. Play music in general. When he wasn't gigging or learning or whatever, it was just practicing. And, well, there's no secret, you know? If you tackle difficult things on your instrument and you approach difficult harmonic concepts and you try to just internalize them on the instrument, this is what comes out. Just absolute freedom over the fretboard. Just total freedom. And everything you play sounds deliberate. It sounds like you mean it. It doesn't sound like there's any hesitation. So that's good. I needed a bit of an ass kicking today, and that's... Yeah, I'm glad I stumbled back onto this this video, because this is the kind of stuff that I need to do. Unfortunately, I've got to shoot. So it means no more practicing for me today. I'm going to back up my bass, grab a little bit of food, and then head to town. No, I forgot to do the ear training stuff. Oh, cool. Okay, real quick. 2 minutes. Oops. 2 minutes. Test myself again. And hopefully not embarrass myself. Alright, dialed up GG. Sound memory game, that's the one. Okay. Let's see how I fare today. There's Sherry. What if I married Leo instead of Michael? Then my name would be Sherry Ozeri. And that rhymes. Isn't that beautiful? And we're off. Let's see. It's not fun. Oh yeah, let's do the hard mode again. Alright, lock in. Oh, let's go. Okay, that's a new high score, I think. Come on, guys. Beat it. Sorry, I meant beat this. Pretty chuffed with that. I needed a little bit of an ego boost today, or a bit of a confidence boost, not ego boost, confidence boost. At least the ears can still remember a pitch. That's good. Yeah, 48.06. That's not bad, man. Who knows? Maybe I'll get to 50 at some point. Alright, guys, that's going to be me for today. Daily leaderboard? No, we don't. Is it possible that some people do actually... Damn, 49.98, man. So I'm in the top. I'm here, right? 446, is that it? All right, I'm in the top 10, top 10%. That's not bad. Okay, guys, thank you very much for joining me today. I'll be able to re-establish my regular streaming regime starting Monday, technically, unless something crazy happens. I'll be free this week, which means I'll be practicing bass all the time. I might even start streaming later during the day. I'm considering my options. I can probably turn this off now, actually. Bye-bye. All rise. All rise. All rise. For the right honourable gentleman, Sir Michael of the Anthony clan. Everybody, thank you very much for joining me today. This was Phil Plays Bass. Phil Plays Bass will be back on Monday to play some more bass, and hopefully in the process get a little bit better every day. We will experience the highs and the lows together and improve ourselves. Toodles!